Hey guys, I'm back with another process video, and this is for my scrappy playdate that me and Hannah Lemieux do once a week. And what we're doing this week is that mood board that popped up at the very beginning. Really pretty, lots of peaches and pinks and golds and all those pretty colors. So yeah, I'm starting off here with a piece of Strathmore watercolor paper, and this is, I think, 140 pounds, so it's pretty thick. And I'm just taking a old, I think it's a gift card or something, and spreading some gesso on there. I just wanted a thin layer, even layer. So yeah, I'm just spreading that on there, and this paper measures 12 inches across. So I'm going to be doing strips of color with those gelatos there on the right, horizontally, and then they'll fit 12-inch wise on my layout. So I'm just going to hit this with my heat gun real quick and dry it up, and then I can start playing with those gelatos over there. And this takes really, really quick to dry, so that's always nice. I have a little helper down there helping me dry. So now I'm going to start playing with my gelatos, and I'm first going to grab that peachy color that's kind of on the top of the rest of them up there, and I think it's actually just called peach. And you can kind of see, because it's gessoed, I can just lay the color down and grab a damp baby wipe right out of the package and blend that color in. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to show you how I did the peach one to save you from watching me do all the colors, but I am going to do the peach, then that pink, the gold, and then the gray. And through the magic of video, it is now done. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer here, and the gelato is quite sticky and thick. They're not permanent. If you want them to be permanent, you do have to fix them with something. I'm not going to bother doing that, but I did grab my rotary trimmer versus the trimmer I normally use just because I didn't want to get my blade all gunked up. And so I'm using this trimmer, and I'm cutting them to, I think, like, I'm not sure, probably around like, it looks like 1.75 inches maybe. So yeah, just cutting those strips, wiping everything off because I was just really paranoid about those gelatos being on everything. And I'm going to use a black piece of 12 by 12 cardstock as my background here, and I'm just going to lay these strips out horizontally, kind of lightest to deepest. I'm just trying to space them out somewhat evenly. I'm not really measuring or anything. I'm just making sure they're straight on my grid in the back and just eyeballing everything. So I'm going to use my ATG now to lay these strips down. So yeah, again, just using my grid in the back to line those up just so they're somewhat straight, but just really eyeballing the spacing. I wasn't trying to be too fanatic about that. And the paper is, the watercolor paper is slightly longer than the width of this 12 by 12. So I'm going to end up trimming that up at the end, but the good thing about that is it kind of gives me an opportunity to pick which end looks better, if that makes sense, and then cut off the end that doesn't. So that's what I'm doing. Excuse my head. So yeah, I'm just going to grab this rotary trimmer again, flip it over, line it up, and trim off those very, very little overhang. So now that that is done, I can start designing my page. So this is the photo that I'm going to be using. This was from the vacation we took over Christmas, and this was at Daytona Beach. And I printed it out in black and white, and it's of my two little girls. These are some photo overlays by Teresa Collins. I think they're from Nine and Company, but they have like gold. It's not really a foil, just gold on them. Okay. So I'm trying to kind of figure out how to attach this, and I remembered, because the Tiny Tancher staples are silver, instead of going through the trouble of alcohol inking them and all of that, I remembered I had some old Making Memories colored staples, and these are some gold ones, and I am going to put them into this little mini stapler I have right now and just staple the corners kind of at the same angle as those lines right there. So I'm going to grab some of these gold rub-ons. This is the Teresa Collins Studio Gold, and just looking and having a look. If you noticed in the mood board, there was some scripty type words and stuff, and I thought about using some, but a lot of them were too big to fit where I wanted to put them, so I just ended up grabbing some smaller regular font words. And so I grabbed one that said smile and best day, and then she has these like date rub-ons in the back, so I'm actually going to use those for the date this photo was taken. And it's a little it's a little hard to keep track of these rub-ons when you cut them out because they're kind of small, and the backing, you know how the backing of rub-ons is and stuff. So it seemed like it took me forever. It just seemed tedious. Or maybe I'm just that lazy of a scrubber. But yeah, I got them. They're all cut out now. Sorry, my iMovie had stopped there. So probably was a weird transition. But yeah, I got them all cut out, and I'm just going to fuss around with them and see where I want all of them. I know I want to put the date in that bottom right corner and that best day in the top left, and I thought that's where I wanted my smile rub-on to go, but it's not going to live there. It's going to end up somewhere else. So I'm just looking through my washi here because I wanted to find one to kind of ground that picture and make it look like it was, you know, not just sitting there. So I'm going to use some washi tape from my Mind's Eye. I believe it's Market Street, Knob Hill or something like that. And this is a white and gold, well, it's really clear and gold, polka dot. And then there's a black and gold stripe that I'm going to use also. And that the black one is considerably thinner than that white one, so they're easy to layer up a little bit. And I like how that looks, so I'm going to go with that. So I think I'm going to lay these rub-ons down now, get those out of the way. And I cut some of this out because it's boring to sit there and watch me rub all these on, but I do. I rub them all on, and there they are. And you see that smile ended up on top of the picture in the end. So now I am just grabbing a piece of vellum that I had, and I'm using my powder tool on it. And this is just a really old Inka Dinka Doo stamp set. It's like these doodly flowers. And I just grabbed two of them, and I'm going to use some Versamark on them. And this is a Fisker's stamp press that I'm using. It kind of makes it easier for larger stamps like this to just ensure that you get all of the impression down. So I'm going to stamp those twice in the Versamark, and then I'm going to emboss two in white, and I'm going to emboss the other two in gold. So yeah, here I am just selectively putting the white on the bottom two, and then I'm going to use my gold embossing powder, and I'm going to put that on the other two. Hang on, Livy. So I'm going to hit those with my heat tool and melt that embossing powder. And then I am going to cut these out. I just felt like I needed a different embellishment on the page, and I thought this was like a light, airy embellishment that wouldn't kind of distract from everything else. So yeah, so I'm just going to fussy cut these out real quick. And there they are. And when you emboss something, it is so easy to cut it out. You just basically follow, your scissors kind of follow the guide of the raised embossing, and it's just really, really easy. So it didn't take any time at all. So I'm just going to fuss with the placement of these a little bit and see where I want them to be. And then I'm going to take a vellum runner that I have. I think it's by Thermoweb. And I'm just going to stick them down. Commit early for me. So I just really like what it added to the page, and yeah, I think it looks nice, so I'm glad I did it. So these are some little chipboard stickers from Me and My Big Ideas, and I'm going to use a few of them. I'm going to grab this one that says right now, I believe, and just tuck it in there with those flowers. And I'm going to put one up by that best day. It's like an arrow, and I think it says right now. Yeah. And I'm just picking out the ones that kind of color coordinate with my layout and with the mood board. So, and then there's a gold glitter heart, which I believe there was a gold glitter heart in the mood board. So I definitely wanted to incorporate as many things as I could from there. There were also some flowers, not these type of flowers, but a flowery image. So that's kind of what made me think of those vellum flowers. And now I am going to grab this Amy Tan resin bow, and it's my last one, so I was giving a thumbs up there. And I'm going to stick it in the middle of that one vellum flower, and then that is the Dear Lizzie. It's a real pale pink and gold flower, and I'm going to stick that in the middle of the other vellum flower. These clear stickers I've had forever, and they have just little sayings about girls and daughters and stuff. And so I used one of those. They're like a really thick, clear epoxy. They're really nice though. I like them a lot. So I just laid one there, and then I have these Heidi Swap clear stickers, and I'm going to use a few of these in each cluster. And what am I going to do next? I think I'm going to go grab some thickers for my title. And no, I'm not. I'm grabbing a bunch of enamel dots. But before I lay the enamel dots down, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do my title. So, yeah. Obviously, I forgot to cut this part out, but you can see my enamel dot selection process, I guess. I'm basically just picking ones out. I wanted to use those gold glitter ones for sure, and then white and black, and I pulled out those gray ones also, and some really old flair that I have. So now I'm going to do my title, and I'm using a set from Dear Lizzie. It's an older set with gold and white. There we are, and I'm just going to spell out Beach Babes with it. And I had just enough S's and just enough B's, and it worked out good. But I also have another package of these, so I wasn't too worried about it. I have so many thickers that, yeah, I'm not too worried about. I want to get them used up. So yeah, there we go, Beach Babes, and I'm going to use this little asterisk in the middle just to add a little detail. And now I am going to place this flare, and that's going to go up in that right hand, or I'm sorry, left hand corner. And I'm not too sure I like the placement of this in the end, but it's there and I used it, and so yay. So yeah, it's going to sit there, and now I'm going to place some of these enamel dots. I'm just putting them in places where I kind of want to draw some attention. So just around some of the smaller clusters. Obviously that main cluster is right next to the picture, so there's lots of attention there. And I'm just doing one gold, one white, and one black, and they're all in different sizes. So, yeah, that's how that looks. And I still felt like it needed something, so I'm going to grab my India ink, I believe. Oh, first you're going to see an epic mistake. I tried to grab my Sharpie, hoping it was going to write over these gelatos. I was going to do my journaling right under the title there on that gray section. So I'm looking for the pen I want to use, and I ended up picking a Sharpie pen because I'm like, this should write on anything. Eventually I will grab it here. There we go. I'm taking out the package. And it started out decent, and then it didn't work at all. It was just, wasn't even putting out ink at this point. It was just scraping off the gelato. So I figured that's not going to work, even though I kept trying. So I just smoothed the gelato over that area that it scraped off, but there is a bit of ink left there. So I'm just going to grab this chipboard arrow here and cover that up, and then that doesn't work. So I decide to just lay some washi down. If all else fails, use washi. You hear that, Hannah? Use washi. So anyways, I'm going to lay these two down. One says I love you, and the other one is hearts, and bam, it looks fine. So then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to journal on the cardstock, and I grab my Signo Uniball, and I'm just going to do my journaling, just explaining how much I love this picture and that it was my favorite from our trip. Nothing too deep here. So I'm just going to finish up that journaling there, and then I decided it needed something else. So I'm going to grab my India ink and some scrap paper to cover everything up. And yeah, I was just going to do these two, but then I'm like, no, knowing me, I'll mess everything up. So I covered everything up. And I grabbed my India ink that has a built-in dropper in it, and I just splattered some, and I love that this how the splats came out. They came out really, really good. So I just did that, and you see why it's good to put paper down. I got one on the paper. Would have been right on that vellum. So here's the close-up, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go and check out Hannah's video. Also, it's really, really, really pretty, her layout. So we'll see you next week. Bye.